Hey everybody, welcome back to Goodale Farm. I'm Peter. Yeah, I need a haircut. It's been a couple weeks since I cut it. In summertime, I usually cut it probably once a week, week and a half. It's probably been 3 weeks since I cut it. So, took care of that this morning. All right, so today's video, I'm going to do a real brief overview of a pool vacuum that I recently bought. I bought it used. These pool vacuums are really expensive. You buy them new. So I'm going to do a demo or a little overview of that because I didn't see much of this particular model out on the internet. So I figure I'll put mine out there, and if it's helpful for others as they're looking at vacuums or if they have this one, I figure I'd do that. So hey, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you around. This is a Dolphin Pro. There's no model number on it anywhere. I mean, inside there's a serial number. I did call Maytronics that makes this and gave them the serial number, and they did link it to some model number, but they actually says this thing actually goes back to, I think, 2005, they said. But I got it used, and it looks basically brand new. So it's been working out pretty well. It's a traditional, Dolphin automatic vacuum. Runs off a DC charge, which this is the converter box here. So it plugs into your AC outlet, converts it to DC, and then you have this extra heavy-duty waterproofed cord that goes into the unit as you put it into the pool. The newer units have a nice, clean, small basket that catches the debris. This unit here, I think, is one of the original designs, and it's a throwback from a technology standpoint. This assembly actually sits on the bottom of the vacuum. I'll show you how it goes in. But this frame is what holds this canvas bag. Yes, canvas. It's cotton, heavy cotton. And as it goes around this, I'll put it on. What happens is the water comes up through these portholes here, comes up and then into the bag, and then escapes through the water, escapes through the bag, but the debris and such gets caught inside the bag. So putting the bag on is pretty straightforward. What I found is on the bag there's a little label. This goes on the farther horizontal side, so this is a rectangle. So you want to line that label onto one of these longer sides here to actually put it on. And you slip the bag over. It has this elastic, let's call it an elastic waistband, that sits on this rim here of the plastic assembly. So let me get that and I'll move on to the next step. Alright, with the bag in place, again, you have the label on the long side and the elastic waistband, tucked underneath that rib, if you will. You tuck the bag on the inside here, and then what I like to do is fold, almost like folding a bed sheet. You fold these over, and then you have these plastic fasteners that actually go on top that will hold the bag in place. So let me get that going. Alright, so that's basically what you have here. I mean, I try to make it nice and neat, but you'll see when I go to put this actually in the vacuum itself, it gets all balled up anyway, so you make the best of it. I think the important thing is that this is tucked in that way there. Alright, let's look at the bottom of this thing. Obviously tip it away from where the cord to make it easy. And here you have the bottom. And this will sit on the inside, and then we have these metal little hooks there that bottom fastens into. Let me show you how we do that. So obviously you want to be really gentle when you're putting it upside down, whatnot. So you take your basket contraption here and you just gently put it in, trying to tuck the canvas bag in all the right places, okay? And then we have these yellow tabs here, and just on the inside is where those little metal fingers come through. So when you push it in, it takes a little bit of adjusting, and once it's in, you can see here The yellow tab goes in to the metal bracket, if you will, and you're basically in. You know, you make sure all the cloth, the canvas bag is tucked in, and you're ready to put it into the pool. Now the power unit is pretty straightforward. You have the AC plug coming in here. You have an on and off switch. It's pretty nice that they have it protected from rain and sun with this kind of plastic covering. And then this plug goes in. I think a lot of the Dolphin units are like this. There's a groove that it fits into, and then you have your threads, and then this tightening nut really just ensures that this plug is tight into here. And once that's plugged in, obviously you put the unit in the pool and put the on and off switch to on. Now what I also understand, this handle here obviously used to lift the contraption, but these are like kind of floating devices that help the vacuum climb the walls. And then you could also, through this push down and bracket system, you could make this handle go diagonal one way or diagonal the other way. And what it says up here is to switch the handle, you know, periodically, so that when you're doing the vacuum, this cord doesn't get overly twisted. Personally, I don't think that works, because I've had the handle going every which way various times, and the cord still gets wrapped up. I've had that on the previous Dolphin too. You end up just every now and then disconnecting it from the power, stretching it out, pulling it out, and just turning it, you know, counter whatever way it's twisted. So for me, the main flaw with this vacuum, actually there's two. One is that canvas bag. When I take that canvas bag out, it's just loaded with like crud and nasty stuff. And I have to take the bag off. It's all wet and cruddy. I got to walk it over to where my hose is, hose it down, and get all that crud out, and then bring it back into the vacuum area. Where the newer technology, the newer versions have that basket. You hit the basket, and you know, you put that off to the side, and you're good to go. So the cloth thing is number one. Obviously, they made that improvement. But the bigger problem is because of the, let's call it the span of the tracks that this operates under. I mean, it's a nice wide track. The water gets sucked up through here. But what happens is when the vacuum climbs over these drains in the pool, it gets stuck. Those drains stick up, I don't know, probably 2 inches from the surface of the pool. The vacuum goes over it, and like a turtle on its back, just gets stuck, and the thing starts spinning around or just stays still while the tracks are trying to move. So you have to keep your eye on it, and when it gets stuck, I simply just go over, I grab a net or a pole and shift it off one of those things, and then it's on its way. Okay, with everything all set, let's put it in the pool. I like to tilt it on its end like this, get most of the air out, but the air tends to get out on its own. And then when it's out, take the rest of the cord, put the cord in the pool. See the vacuum going to the bottom. They call this a robot too sometimes. It's at the bottom. So we come over here, and right now it says off. Put it to on. I attach that cord, and very soon we should see that move. There it goes. So I mentioned earlier it getting caught on these bottom drains. It's amazing, you know, this is supposed to run randomly and cover the whole bottom of the pool. And within 5 or 10 minutes, it tends to get caught on these drains, and I'll move it. Within 5 or 10 minutes later, it gets caught on the drain. So even though there's a lot of real estate for it to cover, that vacuum or robot does a pretty good job covering a lot of space in a short time, because it's just rare to think it's going to hit these two spots to the frequency it does. But anyway, a little nuisance, but not a big deal. Lo and behold, probably 2 minutes into the job and the things get caught already. So there's one drain, there's the other one. So let me get the pole and shake it off. And the good news is it doesn't take much to get it off of where it is. It's just, you know, like if you're in the house and you're seeing this, it's just a pain to have to come out and do this. But, you know, if you're outside, you just stop a little bit, you take the pole, just shake it off, and then it goes on its way and it continues. Yeah, so hopefully we're good for a while. So I've called the maker of these Dolphin vacuums. It's called Maytronics. And I also called pool companies. I've called all around to see if they have a solution for this. And there's a couple, like the makers of these drains have a bracket that goes over it. And then there's also other aftermarket shops that make a plastic kind of handle that goes over these things. But the feedback out on the web from people who've done that says sometimes it actually makes it worse. It gets caught more. And other feedback is it's a waste of money because it still gets caught. So I'm deciding not to try an aftermarket and put something on these drains. I just figure I'll move the vacuum. I mean, it's convenient enough that the robot does the majority of the pool, and if I'm outside anyway, moving it off of these things, not a big deal. There you can see the vacuum climbing the wall. It's just amazing the physics that these vacuums can. They actually climb the wall, and they're able to actually crawl or creep along the wall and clean what's called the water line. That's where a lot of sometimes mildew and whatnot get caught. So ingenious that you can actually have something suspend the nature, the laws of gravity, and do that. It's pretty cool. All right, everybody, that's today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having a great day. Again, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, take care.